Hello, today is August 21st, 2020. We have a quiz today. We're going to do a brief overview of how to answer similar types of questions. Make sure that you take today's attendance. It's right here at the top of the page, and it will also be on the home page. Your objectives is that students will be able to estimate a square root as a whole number. Students will determine if a number is rational or irrational. Students will convert decimals to fractions and fractions to decimals. There will be this video posted right here. And then today's joke is whatever you do, don't talk to that guy. He'll go on forever. And you've got pi sitting right here. As you know, it's an irrational number, and irrational numbers go on forever and never repeat. Attitude is as important as ability for success. You'd be surprised at how many times you run into people that have a lot of ability but have a poor attitude and choose to be lazy and fail because of it. So if you want to be successful, you need to have a positive attitude as well. Here's the assignment. Before we get to the assignment, though, we're going to look at today's lesson. Hello, today is August 21st, 2020. We're going to do a review of the quiz with similar types of questions. So the first question says, write 0.4545 repeating as a fraction. The easiest way to do this is go to Desmos, and you're going to type in 0.454545454545 until you get this little bubble pops up and it says 5/11. This is going to be 5/11. That's the first way. The second way is you could have written 45 over 99, because there's two numbers that repeat. There's two nines on the bottom. These are both divisible by 9, and you get 5/11. Both ways are fine. I would use the calculator. In fact, for this video going forward, I will probably continue to use the calculator. Next question says write 3/8 as a decimal. So I would go back to Desmos and I would simply type in 3 divided by 8. And I get 0.375. So 0.375. And that's my final answer. How do you know that 0.8 is a rational number? Well, the easiest way is I can write 0.8 as a fraction because that's 8 over 10. I know that because that's the tenth position. I also could just go to my calculator and type in 0.8, and it will come up a fraction of 4/5, which is what 8/10 is reduced. So a rational number can always be written as a fraction. And so how do I know? Because I can write it as a fraction. Now we're going to look at estimating the square root as a whole number. Now you can always pull up the sheet, but here's what I know for sure is the square root of 48 falls between the square root of 49 and the square root of 36. Okay? And it's closer to the square root of 49. The square root of 49 is 7. So I'm going to estimate it as 7. Because this is closer to 49, I'm going to estimate it as 7. The square root of 98, well, I know that the square root of 98 falls between the square root of 100 and the square root of 81. Again, you can use that sheet. Again, it's closer to 100, so I know that the square root of 100 is 10. You can use a calculator, and that's another way to get there. The same thing here. I know that the square root of 26 falls between the square root of 25 and the square root of 36.
This time, 26 is closer to 25. The square root of 25 is 5. Looking at this one, I know that the square root of 8 falls between the square root of 4 and the square root of 9. 8 is closer to 9, so I'm going to estimate that as 3 because the square root of 9 is 3. Looking at which point is best for the square root of 6. Here's what I know. Square root of 4 and the square root of 9 falls between 6 falls between 4 and the square root of 4 and square root of 9. So the square root of 4 is 2 and the square root of 9 is 3. So 6 has to be between these two numbers. It has to be between 2 and 3. So the only one that's between 2 and 3 is B. So B would be my answer. How do I know if a number is rational or irrational? So can I write it as a fraction? And so the easiest way to tell if you can write something as a fraction is look at the decimal. Does it end? In this case, it does not end. Or does it repeat? And it does not repeat. That means that I can write it as a fraction. So this is, or cannot write it as a fraction. So this is an irrational number. The other way is we could go in and type this into the calculator. And it would not come up as a fraction. 2/5 is a fraction. The definition of a rational number is it can be written as a fraction. So all fractions will be rational. Now, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5 repeating forever. This is, we already know we can write it as a fraction by doing 4, 5 over 9, 9. So therefore I can write it as a fraction, so it's rational. Now, this here has 158, 158, 158. It repeats. Guarantees that you can write it as a fraction if it repeats. If it repeats or ends, you can write it as a fraction. If it never repeats and never ends, then it's irrational. Same thing here. How do I decide? Well, 4 ends, so that means it has to be rational. Plus, I can write 4 as a fraction as 4 over 1. Anything that's got pi in it is always going to be irrational. And then I can write this as a fraction by simply writing it over 1. So this is rational. It also ends, is how I know that. This completes the review of today's quiz. I just wanted to give you a heads up on how to do a few of these problems. Good luck on your quiz, and I hope you do well.